So today I want to go over what I'm calling 3 depressing Quan Chi facts. Now, these aren't super like bad things about Quan Chi. They don't destroy his game plan, but they are annoying to deal with. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the Bone Cage. So the Bone Cage, it's an alright move. In some matchups you use it a lot, some matchups you basically never use it, and in others you'll be using it as a trap, like against Sub-Zero for example, to catch any random slides. But the Bone Cage has 4 different versions where it's close, medium, far, and very far. Now very far hits people at full screen. See Sub-Zero there, he's not blocking, hits him, and if he were to hold block, it'll also hit him, and it'll activate, even though it's super minus. Now, that's actually not the case from matchup to matchup, and it has to do with NetherRealm's collision detection in all of their fighting games. So the way their collision detection works, it's not like some other games where there's invisible boxes around your character. It's literally your character's model. So your character model is the collision detection, where the game says, okay, you're touching the Bone Cage or you're not touching the Bone Cage. And that actually messes up the Bone Cage just a tiny bit in certain matchups. So Sub-Zero gets Bone Caged at full screen. But then we're going to take a look at characters like Katana and Sindel. So here we have Katana, and if she's at full screen, not blocking, the Bone Cage catches her. If you do a stand 4 and it lands, the Bone Cage catches her. But now, look at what happens if she holds block and she stands up at the same time. So notice how her leg is super tucked in. That makes it so the Bone Cage does not activate anymore at full screen against Katana. And the same is said for Sindel as well. Any character who tucks their leg in, like as much as she does, you cannot Bone Cage them at full screen. And you can't do a stand 4 Bone Cage because they're actually still too far. You have to do 2 stand 4s to push them into there. So this isn't like a super huge thing. Is it annoying sometimes when you're like, oh yeah, I forgot, I can't do that? Yeah, but it's not like, oh, this makes it so Quan Chi is a million times worse. It's like, no, it's just a pretty annoying thing to deal with. To counter it, you just walk forward a little bit. There you go. Now, if they're walking backwards and they know, oh, he can't Bone Cage me at full screen, then that's a different story. If they actually know the Quan Chi matchup really well, but like nobody knows this matchup, because who the hell is playing Quan Chi? And as promised, here is Sindel. Sindel is actually the same as Katana. Even though her leg is more tucked in than Katana, it's still the same deal. You gotta do 2 stand 4s so you can Bone Cage. But yeah. It's not a male versus female hurt box thing either. At least I don't believe it is. I think it's literally just, does your character tuck their leg in while they're holding block? If yes, then Bone Cage, that doesn't hit. You gotta get closer. If not, then you can Bone Cage them from full screen, whether they're blocking or not blocking. And if they're crouching, here's what that looks like. It works because the leg is out. So in a weird way, it is a little better to just stand block Quan at full screen if you're playing like Katana or Sindel or any character who tucks their leg in. But yeah, pretty sure there's some other characters that I don't know about that also don't get hit by the Bone Cage, but do let me know if you figure them out because I do not. So the next 2 facts are pretty similar, but they are a little bit different. So the second fact is his stand 3. So stand 3, 16 frame high, and in my opinion, one of the best anti-airs in the game. It's very, very reliable, and it's very little risk in doing it. It's one of his best buttons for spacing people out at the mid-screen. Now, as you can see, there is a portal where the tongue comes out, and it's only around the tip of the tongue that actually moves and hits people. So if people do jump-ins and they are too close to you, you actually cannot hit them. It is very, very weird. There's certain characters where it works, where it happens a lot against, and there's other characters where it doesn't happen much. Sindel is one of those characters where it is like 50-50, as you can see there. That time I did a stand 3 and she jumped right over it. But yeah, another annoying thing to deal with, because sometimes it makes Quan Chi feel even more like random with his moves, where it's like, yeah, sometimes they can just jump over stand 3. And if they're too close, they might just get right in between you and that tongue. So, yeah. Definitely something that's also annoying. I've actually lost some matches because of it, where I'm like, oh, I'll hit him with a stand 3, get a cool combo. And, well, I got blown up for it. And on that same note, we're going to go to the third fact, which is his down 2, which is uppercut. Just a universal button. So down 2, as you can already tell, disjointed normal, just like stand 3, and a skeleton pops out right in front of him. So this does two things. It makes it so that unlike other characters, where they can hit people directly above them with an uppercut, Quan actually can't do that, because the skeleton comes out from in front of him. So if he'll just have Sindel jump, cannot hit people who are directly above you because of that. And as you can see there is the second problem. The skeleton can actually get jumped over and will pop out on the other side, which is, again, just a super annoying thing to deal with. Like right there, she was in between me and the skeleton. So I think this also has to do with collision detection, at least a little bit, because some jump-ins always get hit, others don't. So I think this one is more of a female hurtbox versus male hurtbox thing, compared to the bone cage, where it's just as your leg tucked in. But yeah, another thing that's annoying, another thing that can get you robbed of, you know, a round or maybe the win for the whole set. But yep, just some annoying little things that can sometimes make playing Quan Chi a little more random, a little less fun, because it's like, oh well, she jumped in between me and my uppercut when I tried to anti-air. So yeah, basically just space out your buttons a little better, because the same is really said for any of his disjointed buttons. His down 1, she can jump over that. Obviously that's a bit different because that's a crouching button. Down 4, that one also works. You know, you can jump in between Quan and his down 4. But yeah, just be careful with Quan, because as it turns out, even though his buttons are super disjointed, they are kind of a double-edged sword. Sometimes people can get in between you and your attack, which is definitely something you don't want to happen. And I guess with that said, 213, 214, same deal. There's portals. If there's portals, that means that they can get in between them and Quan Chi. But that's going to be it for this short little video. Just some fun little facts for Quan that can, I think, otherwise help you optimize your gameplay just a little bit better against certain characters. You know, if they're tuck their legs in, and they don't get hit by the bone cage. And also, just against any character or any player who's doing jump-ins, just space out your buttons a bit better. Make sure that they are right in front of you, because otherwise they might go in between you and your skeletons or you and your tongue, which is super annoying. But that's it for this video. Next video, I'm going to be talking about Quan and the newly buffed cameos. I've just been taking some time to really lab them out. I don't want to be jumping the gun on those characters. But yeah, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.